There's a word in Swedish that doesn't translate cleanly into English. I'm probably going to butcher this again, but here it is. Fika. It's spelled F-I-K-A, and it's pronounced Fika. If you look it up, the dictionary will tell you it means coffee break. That's technically correct and completely wrong at the same time, because Fika isn't about the coffee. It's about the pause, and in Scandinavia, that pause is treated with a level of seriousness that most of the world reserves for actual meetings. In most Swedish workplaces, Fika happens twice a day. Once in the morning, usually around 10, and once in the afternoon, usually around 3. It's not optional. It's not something you squeeze in between emails if you happen to have time. It's scheduled, it's expected, and if you skip it, people notice. Here's the part that sounds almost too simple to matter. During Fika, you stop working. You step away from your desk. You sit down, usually with other people, and you drink something warm, usually coffee, sometimes tea, and you eat something small, usually a cinnamon bun or a cookie or a piece of cake, and you talk. Not about deadlines, not about projects, just talk. For 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes longer, the work stops completely. Now, if you're hearing this from a culture where lunch is eaten at your desk and coffee is something you grab from a machine while walking to your next meeting, this sounds like a productivity problem. It sounds like you're losing 30 to 40 minutes of work time every single day to sit around drinking coffee and eating pastries. Except the data says the opposite. Sweden consistently ranks among the top countries in the world for both productivity per hour worked and employee satisfaction. Scandinavian countries in general work fewer hours per year than most Western nations and produce comparable or higher output per hour. The break isn't costing them productivity, it's part of how they maintain it. There was even a published study, a randomized trial with medical residents, that measured sleepiness levels on days with Fika breaks versus days without. The sleepiness scores were measurably lower on Fika days. Not by a huge margin, but statistically significant, in a population that is chronically sleep-deprived by default. A 15-minute coffee break with a pastry moved the needle in a group of people running on almost no sleep. But here's the thing that makes Fika different from just taking a break. It's not individual, it's collective. In most workplaces outside of Scandinavia, a break is something you take alone. You step outside, you check your phone, you scroll through something. You're physically pausing, but mentally you're still in your own loop. Fika is the opposite. Everyone stops at the same time. The manager, the intern, the person from the department you've never spoken to. You sit together and you're briefly just people, not roles. That's where the stress reduction actually comes from, according to the research. It's not the caffeine. It's not the sugar from the cinnamon bun, although that certainly doesn't hurt. It's the social connection happening in a low-pressure setting, repeated daily, without any networking agenda or forced small talk. It's genuine, unhurried human contact, built into the rhythm of the day, rather than squeezed into the gaps. The word fika itself has an interesting origin, by the way. It comes from an old Swedish slang word for coffee, kaffe. At some point, the syllables got flipped around. Kaffe became fi-ka, and the word stuck. Coffee culture runs deep enough in Sweden that they invented a word for it by rearranging the word they already had. Sweden is actually one of the highest coffee-consuming countries in the world per capita, consistently in the top 5 globally. The average Swede drinks roughly 3 to 4 cups a day. But the way those cups get consumed is completely different from how coffee gets consumed in most other places. It's not a to-go cup. It's not a drive-through order. It's not something you drink while doing something else. It's the thing you're doing. That's the distinction. So, here's how to actually start doing this. Because unlike a lot of cultural habits that sound nice but require an entire societal shift to implement, Fika is genuinely something you can start tomorrow. Pick a time. Mid-morning or mid-afternoon works best. Around 10 or around 3, the natural dip points in a normal energy cycle. Set a timer if you need to. 15 minutes minimum. Make something warm. Coffee, tea, whatever you actually enjoy drinking. The drink matters less than the fact that it's warm and you're holding it with both hands and sitting down. Eat something small. A cookie, a piece of cake, a pastry. This isn't a meal. It's a small, deliberate pleasure that signals to your brain that this moment is different from the work that came before it and the work that comes after it. Put the phone away. This is the one that matters most. Fika with a phone in your hand isn't fika. It's scrolling with a coffee nearby. The entire point is the pause, and a pause with a screen in front of you isn't really a pause. If you can, do it with someone else. A partner, a roommate, a colleague. If you work from home, call someone. The social component is where the research shows the real effect. But even solo fika, done properly, without screens, without multitasking, sitting down with something warm and something sweet, is measurably better than not pausing at all. The Swedish approach to this is interesting because it's not treated as self-care. It's not treated as a wellness hack. It's not framed as something you need to earn or justify. It's just part of the day, the way brushing your teeth is part of the day. Nobody in Sweden feels guilty about taking fika. Nobody considers it unproductive. It's simply what happens at 10 and at 3, and then you go back to work, usually with more clarity than you had before you stopped. That's the part worth sitting with. In most cultures, stopping is treated as the opposite of working. In Scandinavia, stopping, deliberately, together, at a predictable time, with something warm in your hands, is treated as part of working well. If you're going to try this tomorrow, hit the like button so I know. Subscribe to Scandinavian Secrets for more of this every week. And drop a comment, are you a coffee or tea person for your first fika? I read every single one. Ta det lugnt, vi ses nästa gång.